When somebody, you ain't they type, you ain't what they like, you don't even register in their mind as existing.
Men come across unattractive women all the time. They just give you the grace not to throw it in your face. Subscribe. Let's talk about it.
Kendra G touched on a topic that was very interesting. So she talked about how women always come to her and be like, where's the men? Where's the men? So evidently she gave them like some homework to do. She told them, okay, when you go out the next day, I want you to count every man that you see that day. And the women went out and they counted however many men they seen in that day doing a normal everyday things that they do, and came back to her and told her how many men they counted. Now, the reason why she did that is because she wanted them to see that on a normal basis, how many men you come across who don't even register in your radar. Like, you don't even realize those men even exist because you're either not attracted to them, or it's just nothing about them that stands out enough for them to be memorable. Therefore, it leads you to say stuff like, where's all the men at? So I say all of that to say, for some reason, women don't get when that's a thing for men too. Like, when y'all get online and y'all say that it's all these baddies walking around and ain't no attractive men, have you ever thought to yourself that maybe men feel exactly the same way you feel? Like, have you ever thought about the fact that you done been at an event before, right? You, your homegirls, y'all done been at an event, and there's been a group of men there who was fine. And you might have thought that those men were attractive. And after those men left, they went and told their friends that it wasn't nothing but a bunch of ugly hoes at that event. There wasn't no bad ones up in there. Right? Like, dead serious. Really think about this. The same way you think that you don't ever see no attractive men, there's a lot of men who you ain't picking up on their radar either. Whenever they see you, they don't see you. Right? So, like, you could be right there in their face and they don't remember you. You could be at the grocery store shopping in a red shirt, and he leave out that store and somebody asks him, you remember that girl that was in Whole Foods with the red shirt on? And he's gonna be like, who? Wasn't no girl in Whole Foods with no red shirt on. You didn't even pick up on his radar. He didn't even see you. You didn't even exist in his mind. You were invisible to him. I don't think how many people don't realize how invisible you are to other people. You might as well be invisible. And so women act like this is only something that exists for women, but this also exists for men. So when you asking where are the men, there's the same men are asking where are the women. Y'all are both asking the same question because y'all are both not finding each other desirable enough to pick up on the radar.
Now, obviously, she's speaking a lot of truth right there, right? But we understand from the data, from the dating apps, from self-reported studies, that most men find 80% of women attractive. And it's the reverse. Most women only find 20% of men attractive. That's why, yes, we see you out there being attractive, right? But we categorize you, right? We have the number system, the scale that makes sense for us. But there is a level of attraction that gets you remembered, that is imprinted on our very souls. And yeah, most of the time you don't see that people don't usually rise to that level. The thing is, I think men have a better grace and understanding not to throw that in women's faces. We also know that you are completely devoid of being able to take that critique. That's why you have women saying across the board, I'm a 10. And we're talking about the looks. We're specifically talking about the looks. Even when we hold up and say, right, who would you rate as a 10? Angelina Jolie. Do you think you get the same outcomes as her? And you say, yeah. Is that you don't have the ability to exist in reality for a bit of a second, so we can be real with you and say, when you go here and talk about how chopped men are, there's no attractive men. For us to say the same thing like, yeah, you know, a lot of you are the same. A lot of you are cut from the same sort of cloth. We may find the majority of you attractive, more so than you find us, but that's us kind of giving grace and kind of understanding that a lot of us are going to do things that we would never do in the cold light of day. But we have this society where it's fine for you to shit on men. You call them unattractive, you call them ugly, and then you sit here and lament that the men aren't around. Okay, so when you talk about those that you do find attractive, that 20%, that 10%, whatever, why do you think they would find you attractive? If you're not in that upper echelon tier of attraction, why would you think they look at you? They, again, just have the grace not to go online and say these insensitive things about an entire gender. Imagine, and this would not be inaccurate to say, right? Especially when you look at the Black community, say, yo, 80% of you guys are overweight and unattractive. You're all chopped, heavily chopped. You would see that, and there would be an uproar on the internet saying, yo, how could you say something like that? But statistically, he'd have a point. Statistically, he's saying, just like you, I only find 20% of you attractive. But when I say it like this, it's misogyny. When you say it like that, it's just Tuesday. Before we continue, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss no uploads. Still going strong, still trying to do 2 a day. We're sprinkling random lives in there. We're going to have a Sunday show, so depending when you see this, the next Sunday. All right, with that being said, hype the video, share the video. We got merch in the store. So it's very commonplace now and we'll try to, we're going to have a real conversation here. You know, on this channel, we try not to cast aspirations, especially when it comes down to people's looks. But how many videos have we seen about women who are not attractive, right? And that's the best I'm going to say because, you know, my mom be watching the channel, that are not attractive, yet you have the gall to call out men. You have the gall to say that there is, you know, that statistically or genetically, men are just not attractive, and you are furthest thing for what men in mass would say is attractive. But it's popular, it's defended for you to talk this way about men. People look at this and you can say whatever you want. There's so many videos of women that are not attractive, conventionally or otherwise, calling out men, saying that is a genetic deformity. It's a chromosomal sort of degradation mutation. You talk about men in such a way where if men were to do that face to face, we would know it comes to blows. But you feel very comfortable saying these things. So would it not be fair to also say a lot of you are not memorable? A lot of you are not what you think you are. A lot of you are average. Remember, average is fine. People get we're average. Average people get together all the time. When you're out here decrying men and you're saying, where are they? They're where they need to be with the women they feel match them, if not just by looks, but in terms of potential, in terms of their own status. When we say that no one's coming up to women, women are still being approached. No one's buying women drinks. Women are still getting their drinks bought. It's just not happening to you because you don't rise to the level of attraction for those men around you. Those men around you may look at you and say, okay, she's cute, and their eyes keep going. I know that happens to me all the time. It happens to men all the time when they go about their daily lives. We see you made up pretty. Oh, great. Even sometimes I'll randomly give a compliment, but that doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't mean, oh, wow, I love the way your hair looks. And I keep it moving. Oh, you smell fantastic. And I keep it moving. That level of beauty is not enough to get me and say, yo, I have to stop what I'm doing. You rarely come across that. And that's just being honest with men. But we rarely need that level of beauty for us to come up and say something. But as we continue marching forward on this misandrous sort of path where it's okay to call men whatever you feel like, we're going to reserve more of ourselves for those that we deem are worthy of it and those that we already deem within our circle. We'll get to a point where we just say, you know what, like, whenever you constantly go to the same well and accuse people of the same thing over and over again, say in a relationship with someone and someone cheats on you, but you guys decide to stay together, but you keep nagging, you keep using that point. Whenever an argument happens, you keep going and you keep pushing, you keep pulling at that wound. Eventually it scabs over and there's nothing. It doesn't bleed anymore. They become numb to this. We're going to get to the point where men become kind of numb to this misandry and start giving just the same way you are. When you get on here and call men chop, they're going to come back and say, yeah, a lot of you fugly. And then you're going to look and you're going to be hurt. You're going to say, wow, how could you say that? Why? That's not right. Or look, this is a state of play that men are sassy. You shouldn't be arguing with the women when they argue with you. Yeah, eventually people get numb. People get fatigued. And I think we're not that far off. If you disagree, let me know down in the comments. If you see other videos on your screen, check those out. Let me know your thoughts about those in those videos. And of course, naturally, if you listen to my voice now and you have not subscribed, I think you should. We're just trying to build something dope. I'll see you in the next one.